So a while ago, I made a video ranting about the new finale of the Disneyland version of Fantasmic following the death of Murphy. Now I've seen the show a couple more times, so I just wanted to run through a couple of other differences that the show has made from 2023 to this version in 2024. This version is obviously very, very similar to the version before the fire, but it does bring back a couple of elements of the original Fantasmic 1.0 show. And one of those elements is the intro. When Fantasmic 2.0 opened in 2017, it had a new intro with Mickey appearing on stage a little bit earlier. They got rid of the beam of light that appears, but now that this version of Fantasmic 2.5, they brought back the beam of light. Mickey appears after the tower lights come up, so it's more similar to the original intro of Fantasmic 1.0. A second major difference is the flower and the Lion King and jungle sequence. That stays on stage longer, so Ka will appear on stage while the flower is still there, which is also similar to Fantasmic 1.0. Honestly, I preferred when the flower just disappeared when the water screen came back up, because there are a few angles where you can see the flower rush off stage right after Ka passes in front of it. So I think that's a little messy. I preferred like the neat change of from the flower with the water screen, and then when the water screen disappears, it's Ka on stage and the flower just vanishes. You know, that seems a little cleaner to me. It seems a little bit more magical. But anyway, the third big difference in this version of Fantasmic is, of course, the Peter Pan sequence. So this was an existing sequence that Disney had for the original version of Fantasmic going all the way back to 1992. When Fantasmic 2.0 opened, they replaced Peter Pan with Pirates of the Caribbean, which was in the year 2017. And of course, that was the same year that Pirates of the Caribbean 5 was released in theaters, and that was really the deteriorating point between Johnny Depp and the Disney company. So I feel like Disney was just looking for an excuse to get rid of this sequence, which has Jack Sparrow as one of the main characters in it. So they brought back Peter Pan. The fire was a perfect reason for them to get rid of Johnny Depp. But if you're a little concerned about that, they still have Jack Sparrow running around throughout the day as a face character, which I definitely appreciate. But it's a little sad to see his role diminished in such an iconic show like Fantasmic. But that being said, I still really love the Peter Pan sequence. I totally forgot how they worked in the Fantasmic theme into the actual sequence.
Look, you caught fish! Here!
Which makes it feel like part of the show a lot more, which I really like. One thing I don't like is how when Fantasmic 2.0 opened, they always have projections on the cabin. Like, that's just part of the show now, like consistently having projections on the cabin. Now that Fantasmic 2.5 brought back Peter Pan, they did not add projections to the cabin. So this is the only part of the show where the cabin just sits in darkness, which is really weird. I really don't like that. I feel like they should have developed a projection sequence for this scene. I don't even know how much money or resources that cost the Disney company, but it's just really bizarre how the cabin is dark for this sequence and this sequence only. Moving on to the fourth major difference is that they got rid of the magic carpet in the Aladdin sequence. I feel like the magic carpet never worked anyway. Like, more often than not, especially in the later years of its operation, it would just sit on the stage. Like, when it first opened, it was supposed to like fly. I don't know why. I don't know if it broke and they just never fixed it. But when the fire happened, they just completely got rid of the carpet. So now Aladdin and Jasmine are just dancing on stage, which is kind of sad. Like, they just got rid of a set piece and they replaced it with nothing, which is pretty disappointing. But again, that set piece like never worked, so it's not the biggest deal in the world. The fifth major change that I have noticed is that the fireworks are different during the old hag sequence. When she threatens the audience with "Imagine this," she shoots sparks into the water. That used to be it, but now she shoots sparks into the water and then a bunch of fireworks go off, which is much more intimidating. It's much more cool. I really, really like it.
Imagine this!
Very similarly, the sixth major difference is the fireworks during the Chernobog scene. I feel like there's a lot more of them now, which I really appreciate. feel like that's really cool. One thing I do have to nitpick though is the fact that the fireworks are timed really well with the beats and the music, but the first beat, which is arguably the most important beat, doesn't have a firework, which is just totally bizarre. It's really weird. It really bothers me. Like, every other beat has a firework pop except for the very first one, which I don't know why they went with that. Like, obviously it's not a budget thing because they literally have a firework for every other one. So like, why didn't they have one for the first beat? Chernobog literally points at the water, which I feel like is a perfect point to have a firework, but they got rid of it. And I remember the Fantasmic 2.0, they had a firework at that point, so I don't know why they changed it. When the show first opened, I just assumed that it was like a mistake or a timing error with that show in particular. Because Fantasmic is a live performance, it's not always consistent, and little bugs like that will happen occasionally. But no, it's been like that for every single showing that I have seen, so it's just totally bizarre. The seventh major difference is how Mickey dives out of the water screen at the end of the Chernobog sequence. He appears on stage much lower than he used to, which I actually really like. Fantasmic always plays to center stage, so center stage is the best view for the show, and I feel like that works very, very well because he dives out of the screen and he appears at like a very similar elevation, so I feel like the effect works a lot more. Actually looks like he's jumping from the water screen to the stage, which is just amazing. The eighth major difference is the Maleficent sequence. I'm gonna breeze through this really quickly because I have a full separate video about this if you want to check that out. The ninth major difference is the timing of the finale fireworks. I actually really like this change. I think it's so cool. Someone at Disney has like made an emphasis on timing fireworks with the music to like the exact moment. It's super interesting. Like, I made a full video about Wondrous Journeys. I feel like that show times fireworks with the music very, very well. The Pixar fireworks for Pixar Fest, they have a couple moments that time the fireworks beautifully with the show's soundtrack, and when they reopened Fantasmic in 2024, the finale, the timing of the fireworks is much sharper. There are a couple beats that used to rely on the water fountains for like a little pop. But now every single beat in the music has a firework pop, which is just so cool. It's very well done. I really like it. It's kind of hard to explain though, so playing clips is the best way to show you the difference between the original and what it is now. I think it's so much better now that the timing is like every single beat has a firework. It just really helps with the emotions of the finale. So I really appreciate whoever's putting an emphasis on this because I think it's very cool. And then the 10th and final difference that I noticed is that they brought back the original exit music. So I love the exit music. It's just as powerful and as engaging as the finale music, which is obviously very emotional and amazing. One thing that I don't really like is how the exit music starts playing immediately after the show ends. In Florida, the finale will happen. Mickey will say, and then the final fireworks go off, and then there's like a little announcement saying thank you for watching Fantasmic, please exit behind you, yada yada, and then they start playing the exit music. But in California, the show ends and then the exit music starts playing right away, and the exit music sounds a lot like the finale music. It's a little weird. I think the break from the announcement makes it feel a lot more natural in Florida, so I kind of wish we did something similar like that in California. So yeah, that's the 10 major differences I noticed from the 2024 version of Fantasmic. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for listening. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you later.